What's going on, CrossFit Federal Way? I hope you enjoyed your holiday with your family and your friends. Hope you got some nifty things to kill time in quarantine. Anyway, with that, guys, it is Saturday. We're gonna take kind of a combination of two things. Well, we're a little bit of this is inspired by one of the classic CrossFit benchmarks called Helen. And Helen is 3 rounds of a 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings, 12 pull-ups. And that's done 4 times. So we have a couple rounds of Helen on either end and then some stuff in the middle. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're getting ourselves into. Now today, all you're gonna need is a kettlebell or a dumbbell. You're not gonna need a barbell. Now if all you have is a barbell will work. If I'm looking at loading, prescribed weight is gonna be a 53-pound kettlebell for guys, a 35-pound kettlebell for the ladies. I would do a 50-pound dumbbell and a 35-pound dumbbell. If I'm using dumbbells, that would be ideal weight. Now, if I don't have either, if I'm using a bar, I would go a little bit over that. I might use, use a, maybe it's a 65-pound bar, maybe 75 pounds for guys. 55, yeah, let's do that. 75 pounds for guys, 55 pounds for the ladies if you're using a barbell. For the barbell, there's some push press. And then the kettlebell swings, I would do that as a hang snatch. That way it's a very similar hip open and then taking that weight up overhead as opposed to your traditional kettlebell swing. But the big thing on the kettlebell swing is that aggressive hip open. So if we can mimic that open with a barbell, if you don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, that's gonna be great options to get a very similar stimulus out of this workout. And why we're upping the weight a little bit for the bar is because if I'm doing single arm or even double arm kettlebell swings, the barbell, you're gonna be able to move much more efficiently than something like a kettlebell. As far as the push press goes, that is single arm total reps. So we want that weight to be a little heavier than 53 pounds on the bar. So we get better stimulus for the muscles that are using for the press. And then for the kettlebell swings themselves, again, it's just a matter of you're gonna be able to move that barbell much more efficiently than a kettlebell snatch. So they're different, but that 75-pound bar is not gonna feel heavy per se. Anyway, with that, let's talk about what this workout's gonna be. So we start off at 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna start with a 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings, 53 pounds for guys, 35 pounds for the ladies, 12 pull-ups. Again, if you don't have a pull-up bar at home, the bed sheet body weight row thing is a really great way to get some sort of pulling and utilizing those lats without having something to hang from and throw your body around. So when we finish that, we're going into, and this is that 1 round of Helen. We then go into 3 rounds of 21 push-ups, 15 total reps of kettlebell push press that can be broken up any way, right or left, and then 9 toes to bar. If you don't have a pull-up bar to perform toes to bar on, you can do toes to bar lying on the ground. You can also sub tuck-ups, which we've talked about a number of times when toes to bar have come up so far this quarantine. Then we're going back into 1 more round of Helen, except it's in reverse. So 12 pull-ups, 21 kettlebell swings, I think I said strings. 21 kettlebell swings and a 400-meter run time. So this is done all for time. You're doing everything. There is no planned rests or anything else like that. It's just a round of Helen, 3 rounds in the middle of that 21, 15, 9, and then again a round of Helen again at the end, but just in reverse. So pull-ups first, run last at the end. So let's go ahead and talk about our standards. Obviously the run, out the door, 400 meters, come back in. When we're talking about kettlebell swings, with my kettlebell, this is a hip-driven motion. So I would say the biggest difference between a kettlebell swing and a snatch is I've got a horizontal motion with my hips. So you've got more travel of the hips on the horizontal plane. The snatch is still an aggressive open, but it's a vertical travel of the hips. It's a jump up. It's not throwing my hips into the bar and sending that bar out and around. So there's a little bit of a difference if I am using a barbell because I don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Now the kettlebell swing itself, I'm going to take from the ground. Generally, you're going to pick it up with maybe about a foot in front of your toes. That way that kettlebell can naturally swing back and you can load your posterior chain and be able to engage. So big drive with the hips. Think about throwing that kettlebell forward and we're looking for arms to be straight up and down at the top. That bell should be pointing straight up towards the ceiling. We don't want sad, flaccid kettlebells. But straight up and down, 21 swings. From there, I'm jumping up on my pull-up bar and giving myself 12 pull-ups. Now, your pull-ups can be scaled a number of ways. If you have a jump stretch band at home that you can do banded pull-ups and you don't have regular, you don't have either strict pull-ups or kipping pull-ups, go for that. If you don't have strict pull-ups but you have kipping pull-ups, I would still band it because we want to work on strict range of motion and getting that strict pull-up first. Because if I'm swinging around on the pull-up bar and throwing my body weight around up there, but I don't have the strength to control that pull all the way through full range of motion, that means I can't stabilize my shoulder, and that puts me at a higher risk of possibly injuring my shoulders by throwing all my body weight around trying to kip my pull-ups. But the standards on the pull-ups, arms are extended at the bottom, chin goes over the bar. So if you really wanted to, they can be strict all the way up over, or again, kipping, or butterfly. I'm terrible at butterfly, but we'll try it. So, any way to do that, if I'm using a bed sheet, or if I have gymnastic rings, we can do that as a row. The standards on the row is when I lean back, body should be in a straight line. So I'm not sagging at my hips, I'm active here, I'm up on my heels, so I've got something to hinge on. Grip is gonna be neutral, so think thumbs up. And from full extension of the arms, I'm rowing myself all the way up until those rings or my bed sheet is at the side of my chest, and then back to full extension. So I'm gonna do body weight rows instead of pull-ups. Now, why we do this instead of a pull-up is it utilizes the same muscles that we're using for the pull-up. So we can build strength here, which will ideally in the long run help lead towards getting that first strict pull-up and then having to not have to think about doing ring rows to scale anymore. But if that's where you're at, work really hard with what you're given. Trust the process and know that those things like a first pull-up, a first muscle-up, a first whatever it might be, it's only going to happen if you're consistent. So stay consistent, stay the course, trust the process. Now next we go, when we finish that pull-ups, or that first set of pull-ups, we go into 3 rounds of 20 or 21 push-ups, 15 kettlebell push press, and 9 toes to bar. The push-up standards, hands are about shoulder width apart, body's in one straight line, chest comes down and touches the floor, my elbows stay nice and close to my body so I'm not winging my arms way out. Elbows stay close, that's a healthy position for the shoulder. Utilizes a little more tricep and gets the lats involved as well. And then all the way up to full extension at the top for every single rep. From there, I've got kettlebell push press. Now the push press, as a lot of you know, dip and drive, and then press out overhead. If I'm using a kettlebell, it's one arm and you can break up the 15 however you want. So you can do some on the right, some on the left. You could do all right on the first round, all left on the second round, it doesn't matter. But from here, I'm looking for a front rack position. So my elbow is actually more out in front. It's not off to the side. So more out in front is gonna keep this as a healthy position, give me a little bit more muscular engagement and a good shelf to rest that kettlebell. From here, I'm gonna dip and drive and then press that kettlebell all the way up to full extension. So arm is locked out overhead, kettlebell straight up overhead, right back down. I can go straight into my next dip and keep moving through my push press. The last thing in that middle piece is gonna be toes to bar. So for the toes to bar, heels just have to go back behind the vertical plane of the bar, and both toes touch the bar between my hands at the same time. So only sets of 9, you only have to do it 3 times. Ideally, it's something where you could do it unbroken every time to stay efficient. If I don't have toes to bar, or if I don't have a pull-up bar, then I would say tuck-ups is gonna be the way to go. So from here, I'm gonna start lying flat on the floor. I'm gonna sit up, bring my knees to my chest, and reach my hands towards my heels. So sitting up, reaching my hands toward my heels, and creating that same closed hip angle that we get on the toe to bar. Yes, it might be a little bit easier, but it's still gonna give you the similar stimulus to that hinge at the hips and core engagement as you would for an actual toe to bar. All right, and then we go right back through the same movements that we did before. So pull-ups, kettlebell swings, and a 400-meter run. So again, from the top, 3, 2, 1, go. I run 400 meters. 21 kettlebell swings, 53 pounds for guys, 35 pounds for ladies, 12 pull-ups. Into 3 rounds of 21-15-9 of push-ups, kettlebell push press, and toes to bar. And then we finish by going through 12 pull-ups, 21 kettlebell swings, and end with that 400-meter run. That's your time. So that is what we are getting ourselves into. Excited to see those of you who show up or tune in to the Zoom class this morning. And if I don't, have fun with this one, guys. Again, I hope you had a great holiday with your family. And with that, let's get after it.